This is my property. I purchased it back in 2012. We started farming it in earnest in 2013. It's a market garden style farm, so we grow everything. Behind me is the mixed greens and the lettuces. This is kind of like the fast turnover field. So radishes, salad turnips, arugula, mizuna, mustard greens, head lettuce, and then further down solanaceous, so that's tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, that type of stuff. And the further down you go, winter squash, pumpkins, and everything gets planted in rotation.
So the 300 Committee Land Trust has been talking with Matt Churchill, the property owner here, for 6 years. I would say the talks really started to pick up in 2015, and all of this was about how we could work together to permanently protect this land. We know that Matt's been farming it, he's been doing a terrific job, he's expanded it, but in the backdrop, we know this is actually developable land. And Matt has no intention of developing this, but the purpose of a conservation restriction is to put a permanent legal restriction on the land to extinguish development rights, to make sure that it's always available for farming, regardless of who the owner is. So we're talking in perpetuity. This land will be protected permanently for working farmland because of this conservation restriction. That's the real purpose of it. And it does add 10.45 acres to the overall inventory of open space, but when we select these acreages, we want it to be the highest priority lands for conservation. And that was one of the reasons why we pursued this.
We have a couple of very reliable volunteers who help me out. I couldn't really do it without them. They help me do the really labor-intensive stuff, which is picking.
It's just so amazing to be in this spot, like this big empty, like not empty, but like wide open place. It's like the most peaceful feeling. I help Matt with the farmers market on Thursday, which means I pick on Wednesday evening, and then I am here all day Thursday and at the market with him. And then my mom and I volunteer together on Saturdays. Yeah, I feel like patience and investment are things that are very easily learned here that are not easily learned in other places.
Yeah, so a pariah dog, they're like Aboriginal dogs. So they're these kind of semi-feral animals that live on the outskirts of, human civilization. So she's an American dingo. So that's just our kind of native pariah dog. They're again the Aboriginal dogs that the Native Americans brought over. The dog's name is Bailey.
So with this conservation project, the farm continues to be privately owned. It's owned by Matt Churchill. It's operated as Pariah Dog Farm. The public would certainly be welcome to come here. We encourage them to visit the farm stand, come to events at the farm, but it's privately owned.
Well, from my perspective, it allows me to remain financially viable. Without this conservation restriction, it's going to be pretty difficult for me to continue doing this. And the other thing is it really bothers me to see all of this land in town going to development. It seems that as soon as a parcel of agricultural land larger than an acre is made available, it's bought and developed into the densest possible housing, sometimes exceeding our zoning by tenfold. And by doing this, I prevent that from happening here in perpetuity.